somebody has to take responsibility for this, because something's happened.
Yeah.
Over the years, you know, I'm not saying society has deteriorated, but something has deteriorated about the opinion of hair. It suddenly became something of topic, and it became something that had to be addressed. Before that, I don't think anybody really took it seriously. It was just, just there. It was fine. You grew it. You didn't grow it. You had a mustache. You didn't have a mustache. As a male, you had a beard. You didn't have it. It wasn't a big thing. You know, you look at you just have to go to the art galleries and you look at the you know, the imagery on the different paintings. You know, they've got beards. They're going out shooting and whatnot. They've got beards and stuff. And now I know it's a bit of a trend and so on, but there's somebody that's played a role in changing and manipulating us.
So here, I think the main contributor is the media. So the media surge, people looking in a different way. I think one of the biggest people that were involved was Gillette. So in the early 1915s, Gillette came about with the first woman razor, and I think this was at a time where clothing started to become more modern, and it moved away from Victorian modest clothing where you have like the high buttons and the high necks. So now because more skin was on show, I think Gillette appealed to like showing women that you're vulnerable and you need to remove your hair so you can fit in and you look a certain way so
I can just see it now.
you.
They're sitting around a boardroom. It's got to be men, because obviously women didn't get into employment until much later and so on. Sitting around the table and saying, "We've got this razor. We've got to get the women to buy it." And I can just see them kind of brainstorming and ideas on how we can manipulate women. And that's what it was. And they played to their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And so I can imagine, obviously we don't know for sure, but we can imagine that women must have felt, oh, so if I want to be confident.
Yeah. Pressurised into like thinking that this was the only way forward, was to remove the hair so they fit in. They fit into society.
And if you take that a bit further, if you look back at the beauty campaigns, but they followed around about the same time as well, the stylists as well. Yeah. And I think they've taken that to another level. They've actually contributed then to the hairless society as being happy. Yeah. You know, this is what we want to be. This is happiness. This is what it looks like.
This is beauty.
This is beauty.
So beauty is without hair.
Yeah.
But that's their standard that they've created. That's not true beauty, because they've put in, this is a criteria you have to tick off to be beautiful. And they've plastered these advertisements everywhere. Like,
that's what it's about. It's about getting that message, that subliminal message constantly. And that's what the marketing companies like Gillette and everybody do. So they can control the advertisements that go on TV, what you see at the breaks, you know, in between that, and what the billboards, and the magazines that you're going to get, any kind of lifestyle magazines that were being bought at the time, are going to project that same message of a hairless society. And what they want is, they want to see that going out, and they want to see the sales go up. And they must have seen that trajectory. They must have thought, billionaires, we've smashed it, we've done it.
But it's the way they've actually marketed it. Like, they make the women and the men who remove these, like this gears, in the advertisement, to be really happy after they've done that.
They don't realise the damage they've done.
They don't show that process, all of that process they had to go through.
No, I'm saying the damage that they've done to society in many different levels. They are responsible for this. They've decided they want more sales, and they want people buying their products more. So that's the focus. They haven't got that conscious thinking about, is this the right thing to do?
Of someone's well-being.
No, nothing.
Because then you've got the ladies who think that they don't want to do that, but then now they're going to have problems fitting in, and they're not going to find someone to get married to them, because those men now think that they have to
beauty is associated.
Find someone who hasn't got any hair, because hairless women don't want someone with
because
hair.
They've linked now unhappiness with a hairy body, happiness with a hairless body, and success, I think, almost as well. Successful people are clean-shaven, are a certain criteria, or, you know, they look a certain way, and maybe they're a certain size and so on. And that's all being orchestrated, you know, behind doors. Just a few individuals. I'm not saying that's like 100 people. It's probably just like 5 people who've made a hell of a lot of money. You know what you said at the beginning about how much money is spent on products. These guys are filthy rich, are probably trillionaires by now if they started that long ago.
Because if you imagine, for example, if you spend £2 on a razor, 2 times, I don't know how many trillion people there are in the world, just £2 times by that much. You can imagine how much they've made from these
made
profits.
it, and what the commoners, let's just say, lost common sense. So I don't realise, just say for example, the person on the street, me being the person on the street, that actually by buying this, I am feeding somebody else's income. I'm making them richer and richer and richer, and I'm also buying into their ideology of happiness as well. And I'm not thinking for myself. I've been sucked in by the successful. You got to say successful. It was successful, hugely successful, marketing campaigns of those of that era that still lingers today. That this is what happiness is, and it's just shocking because common sense tells you this can't be happiness.
But it hooks you into it.
It hooks you in.
It's the way they've
and once you
done
start,
that.
you're not going to stop. You just carry on doing it, carry on doing it. And there is when does it come to that point where you say, what am I doing?
It's just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. I think what we do need to do is look at really carefully, and when we talk to everybody, talk to one another and have those conversations when we're with each other or in our houses or in our communities, is to share that message. When we acknowledge that we're being hoodwinked into this ideology that isn't the truth. So I think when we look at all of this information and reflecting back on history and looking at all the different changes and the power that the marketing companies play in trying to manipulate us, we need to make sure as a community that we talk about this. So when we're sitting in our homes or when we're sitting out and about and we're socialising, and educate people, because I think otherwise we're going to continue to be almost like slaves to this, slaves to the marketing companies, to those big organisers, who produce these products, to those laser companies, to those threading companies, to those other different companies that are going to bring out something tomorrow. It might be a pharmaceutical company that brings out the next super gel, super cream, and whatever it is. We need to be armed with knowledge.